Hi, this is Champlet2 on the PlayStation Network. Now, if you've ever watched any of my videos before, this one's going to be a little bit different. Generally, with most of my videos, I like to present you with options for things that you can buy and let you know how much they're going to cost you and give you some unbiased pros and cons, and let you decide what's best for you and how you want to spend your money. This video is going to be a little bit different because I'm going to represent the problems that I have encountered so far since the Smuggler's Run DLC with the aircraft hangar and the management and use of the aircraft in your hangar. And one more little disclaimer, this is not at all about the gameplay with Smuggler's Run. I'm not going to be reviewing anything about sourcing merchandise or selling it. So if that's what you're interested in, I will not be covering that in this video. Okay, so let's get started. Here you can see I'm in my Hydra, which was a previous Pegasus vehicle that I had purchased quite some time ago, long before this DLC. And you can see when I bring it into my hangar and I want to modify it, my only option is to respray it. I can't add any kind of weapons, I can't add any kind of armor. All I can do is respray it. Now, in all fairness, at least the paint is not outrageously expensive. It seems similar along the lines to what the cars are in terms of the cost of the paint. So I'm just walking through a couple of examples here for you. And this one in particular only had a primary color, not a secondary. Alright, so now I'm going to go to yet another former Pegasus vehicle. This was my Savage. As you can see, I've already repainted it as well. And when I get in and I press the right directional pad, I can change the primary color and the secondary color on this one. But again, those are the only options I have. And I'm just going to show you a little bit about how you do that. So here's secondary. So it's very similar to how you respray the cars. Somewhat disappointing that you can't enhance the vehicles that you've already purchased from Pegasus in the past. So next I'm going to go to the Buzzard. I've gotten a lot of questions about what can you do to the Buzzard to customize it now that you have this hangar. And as you'll see, if I go in here and modify what is now my personal aircraft, all I can do is change the primary color. Big disappointment. It would have been nice to have been able to add some modifications to the Buzzard, either for weapons or for looks other than paint, but no such luck. Now you may notice here where that button says remove. I'm going to cover that in a little more detail later. Okay, so if I come back in, that's all we've got for the previous Pegasus vehicles, but here is the V65. I think, what is it called? Malahawk or something like that. V65 something or other. There we go, Malahawk. This one has a lot of modification options. I'm not going to cover these in great detail, but I am going to step through them. You can add armor, you can add countermeasures to help you escape attackers. There's some drop tanks. I can upgrade the engine. I can change the handling. I can add a livery, I believe it is. Some people, I think, say livery. If I want to, I can respray it. This one happens to have primary and secondary colors. I can add some homing missiles. Yay. There is a button that says sell. So for the ones that you purchase from the Smuggler's Run DLC, I could sell that and get maybe 40 to 50% of my purchase price back if I decided I didn't want it. Okay, moving on. Here is, I called Pegasus and got a Super Valido. This is not the Super Valido Carbon, just the Super Valido. I called Pegasus and brought it in here, and it comes in this default blue and white. Let's see then. So I'm going to respray it. What we got in mind? And just for fun, I had been spraying all of my vehicles here in the hangar to a wine red with a Torino red pearlescent. I thought it would be kind of fun for me to have like one color scheme that I use for all my aircraft, so that way my friends, when they saw a red aircraft, they would know it was me. Plus, I just think the red with the Torino is a particularly striking color combination. But then I realized here, wait a minute, I don't want to do it that way. I'm going to put pearlescent on first. This is kind of a neat paint trick if you didn't know it. I'm in the primary paint color. I added the pearlescent. Now I'm going to go to the secondary and choose a matte color. And you'll notice the pearlescent Torino red still stays on this dark red matte too. So that's kind of a neat way to put a pearlescent on a matte finish. If you paint the primary and the pearlescent first and then make the secondary a matte color, you'll still retain that pearlescent. Now pay attention to this color. I'm sorry, this next part's going to be a little bit confusing, but see how I have the matte red and you can see the black Buckingham logo there? That's the matte red with the pearlescent. I'm going to go outside and I'm going to order a Super Valido. And I want to see if I get the one that I just painted inside of my hangar. So I'm going to register as a CEO. And now I'm going to go request a CEO vehicle, and I'm going to ask for the Super Valido. Because, you know, you would hope you would get the one that was in your hangar that you just painted. But unfortunately, no such luck. I'm going to show you this again later in the video and it'll be a little more obvious. This Super Valido does happen to be black and red, but it's not the same one. See, there's the Buckingham logo in black on a black matte background. That's not the one that I just painted. That was red. The red matte, and it had the black Buckingham logo. So I requested the vehicle from my CEO vehicles. I requested the same Super Valido, but I did not get the one that I painted that was in my hangar. I'm going to go back in there and look at it now just to confirm. Yep, it's still in here, and it's still the red that I had just painted. And here it is over here to my left. And see, remember the other one was black matte where the Buckingham logo was, and this one's red. So this is what I would call disappointment number 2. The first one being that all you can do to your former Pegasus vehicles was repaint them. And the second one being you go to order your CEO vehicles and it will not be the personal vehicle that you have painted and stored in your hangar. Now this isn't really a disappointment as much as it is a heads up. This is the CEO vehicle that I just ordered, and you'll see it will not let me bring this into the hangar. Well, that kind of makes sense. This is not the one I purchased that I store through Pegasus and order from Pegasus. This is a CEO vehicle and I can't make it a personal aircraft. So now here I am outside my hangar, and that buzzard that you see there is one that I requested as a CEO vehicle. I'm going to show you the difference between this one and one that I get from Pegasus.
Hello, Pegasus Lifestyle Management. How can I help you? Thank you, madam. Your spectacular aircraft is now ready for you at our nearest airfield.
Now, thankfully, it did spawn it at a pretty nearby helipad. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it can be clear on the other side of the airstrip. I have had a little bit better luck with Hangar A2 than I have 3497 and 3499. They do a little more reliably come centrally located near Hangar A2, which is the reason why I kept this one after I did the locations video. So you'll notice I called from Pegasus. You would hope that that would bring your personal aircraft that you just painted and stored in your hangar, but not so much. This is yet another black buzzard. And I'm going to bring these two over here in the light, under the street light, so you can see the difference between the Pegasus buzzard and the CEO buzzard that I got earlier. This is the Pegasus buzzard. Now I'm going to move in the CEO one. You'll see the CEO buzzard has tinted windows on the pilot and co-pilot's doors. The Pegasus one does not. It has the original windows. The Pegasus one is a metallic, I think it might be a carbon black, and this CEO one is now a matte black finish. So disappointment number 3 is not only do you not get your painted personal aircraft when you call for a CEO vehicle, you don't get it when you call Pegasus for a buzzard either. Or any vehicle for that matter, any of the aircraft. You don't get the one that you have stored in your hangar that you painted. So now I'm going to take this one that I called and got from Pegasus, and I'm going to see if it'll let me put it in my hangar. Bearing in mind, you already saw in my video, I have one in there that I've painted red. And lo and behold, it's going to let me add another buzzard. Now, I'm sure a lot of people wouldn't say that's a disappointment. They'd probably say, woohoo, I got an extra buzzard, isn't that great? Well, I think it's a disappointment, my 4th disappointment, because that just doesn't make any sense. I only ever bought one buzzard. I only had one buzzard at Pegasus. How do I now get to call Pegasus, get another buzzard, and bring it in here and store it as a personal aircraft? That absolutely makes no sense. So just to prove this really is my personal aircraft, I'm going to come in here and modify it, respray it, make it a totally different color. So now we'll be able to tell these two apart here in the hangar.
She'll fly all right.
That's Charlie speaking. In case you hear him, he's my aircraft mechanic at the hangar. So now I have a nice new white buzzard, and over in the corner you may have seen my red buzzard that I still had. Well, I'm going to prove this point yet again by calling Pegasus one more time.
Hello, this is Pegasus Lifestyle Management. How can I help?
To get another
Great.
buzzard.
The aircraft is waiting for you at our nearest airfield. We trust you'll be happy, madam.
You may notice another buzzard there on the right in front of another hangar. That is a Fort Zancudo buzzard, and I'm quite sure that if I went over there and tried to take it, the guys at the fort would probably get pretty snarky. So here's the one again that I've just ordered yet again from Pegasus, and it's a black one again. It does not have tinted windows. And here again is the one I got earlier as a CEO buzzard that does have the tinted windows and the matte finish. Just wanted to show you it was still there. So I'm going to take this Pegasus buzzard without the tinted windows, and I'm going to see if I can put this one in my hangar, bearing in mind I already have 2 in there. Now I could just hit the arrow and it would take me in, or I can fly a little closer and it would pull me in. Either way works. But sure enough, buzzard number 3, now inside my hangar. So now just to demonstrate again, this is a personal vehicle. This is my 3rd one that I've brought in now. I'm going to repaint it. And notice here, I'm going to spend a little over $10,000 on this Fister Pink. Pepto-Bismol Pink is probably more appropriate. That's what I'm spending on this paint job. We're going to come back to that in just a second. But now you'll see, here's my 3 buzzards. There's the one from Pegasus that I painted white, and here's the one I painted pink, and the one I originally had that I painted red. So now we're going to talk about the remove option under the modify menu. And remember, I said a moment ago I spent a little over $10,000 here. Take a look on the paint, that is. Take a look at my money. I've got $61,276,635 in the bank, and a little over $20,000 in my wallet. I said to remove this. Now see there it says vehicle sold. Well, it isn't actually sold. I don't make any money off of that. That was a former Pegasus vehicle that I bought a long time ago. You'll see there my money did not change. I didn't even get anything back for the money I spent on the paint. That $10,000 on the paint. So I would call that my 5th disappointment with this particular DLC. You cannot sell back any aircraft that you bought previously that you had been storing and managing through Pegasus, and it does say that it's sold, but it's really not sold. Now you can sell back the ones that you buy from this DLC, so at least there's that, but it's still disappointing. You can't sell back old ones. Now I'm going to demonstrate another problem I ran into.
Hello, you're through to Pegasus Lifestyle Management. How can I help? Your beautiful new aircraft is waiting at our nearest airfield. We hope you're very happy, madam.
So I ordered a Super Bolito. I'm going to run over here and grab it. And you can see, you might remember earlier in the video, I ordered one from a CEO vehicle and it was red and black. This one is blue and white. I got it from Pegasus. Now I'm going to go back in and get my personally painted red one, the matte red. And I'm going to park them here side by side. Now I want to go over here and take this one that I just got from Pegasus and see, I've already got a Super Bolito in there. Will it let me add another one, much like I did earlier with the buzzards? I'm going to take this one in. Again, I got this from Pegasus, not as a CEO vehicle. This was a Pegasus request. And it now says I can modify it. It's converted it to a personal vehicle. So I'm going to respray it, and I'll skip over that, and you'll see now it's white with blue on top. And if you look over there to the other side, that's where my red one was parked, and it's not there because I pulled it outside. But when I go outside, my red one vanished right there in front of me. It just vanished altogether. So I thought, well, surely it put it back in the hangar. So I'm looking around. It's not out here. There's my CEO buzzard from quite a while ago. So I'm going to run in here and look and see if I can find my red Super Bolito. So to the right, there's the one that I just repainted, white with blue on top. And where's my red one? So I went back here to the vehicle management screen to see if I could find it. I thought maybe it put it in storage. So I'll step up and look. It's not anywhere on the floor. It is not listed anywhere in storage. I have my Bolito Carbon. But if I look at the floor, there it is. See the spot? See the little blue arrow? That's where it's supposed to be. But it's gone. I don't know if it's been lost. I don't know where it is. It is just gone. So that's disappointment number 6. Now here I requested a personal vehicle. I was over at the hangar and I requested a personal vehicle, and look how far away it put it. I would consider that probably disappointment number 7 as well, is that they sure do make you go awfully far to get your vehicles. Some hangars are worse than others. So I'm going to drive this over here. Now this is my personal vehicle, my car. And disappointment number 8 is that now that you have, I'm going to put this door down, by the way, because I'm going to go get a cargo bob and carry this out. Now that you have these aircraft inside your hangar and they're considered your personal vehicles, well, now they behave the exact same way as cars do in your garages. So say for example you have a car out of your garage and you walk inside your garage and pull another one out. The first one you had will disappear because you can only have one car out at a time. Well, the same is true now of these. I pulled out this cargo bob with the intent of grabbing it with the hook and carrying away my car. I was going to grab the car, that is, and carry it away, but it's gone. My car is now gone. I can't pick it up because my cargo bob is also a personal vehicle. So that's disappointment number 8 for me. Now next I'm going to show you a little bit of an inconsistency. You see here I'm flying the cargo bob that I just retrieved from the hangar. This is my personal one that I've painted, and I'm taking it to my executive office at Lombank so I can go in and do an import-export mission and go pick up a car. Now I did this on day 2 of the DLC with my personal painted buzzard, and when I went in and requested a vehicle and came back out, my buzzard was gone. This time, oddly enough, I came back out and the cargo bob was there. So disappointment number 9 is certainly inconsistency with whether it's going to let you keep your personal aircraft nearby or not.
Okay, this car's in the hands of some, shall we say, serious little soul gangsters. We don't know where they're based, so tail one of them back, find the car, and bring it to the warehouse.
So again, there's the one that I just brought in from the hangar, but I wanted to go back and see if I go inside and go back to the elevator and request a vehicle, that would be the Pegasus concierge, which is different than calling Pegasus and having them deliver a vehicle to the nearest airstrip. This time I'm going to go here to the elevator and go to exit via vehicle, Pegasus concierge, and request the cargo bob Jetsam, which is the same one I just flew in. I was hoping maybe this one would come back as the colored one, but no, it comes back as the default one that I've had under Pegasus storage for quite some time. Disappointment number 10 is I was hoping that you could just go to your hangar and retrieve a cargo bob or a buzzard or whatever it is you need to help you complete another mission such as this sourcing vehicle that I'm doing from import and export. You can see there at the bottom of the screen it keeps telling me go to Little Soul. That indicates that I'm in the middle of this import-export mission. And when I get here to the hangar, it says I can't enter the hangar while I'm acquiring a vehicle for my warehouse. So, and it's not just because I'm in this one. It's not because I'm in the one that I requested from my CEO executive office. I can't even walk in the door. And I thought, well, maybe that's maybe I need to back up and try again. So I ran back here to get a little further away from the door. And now I'm going to turn around and go back. And it's going to tell me again, I am just not allowed in this hangar at all when I'm in the middle of an import-export mission, which I would assume is the same of any missions. So, yet again, another disappointment. So my 11th disappointment is remarkably confusing. I barely even understand what happened here myself, so I'm sorry if this doesn't make a lot of sense. But that's kind of the point of this video. None of this makes any sense. I'm leaving my executive office, and I'm going to request a buzzard, and I'm going to zip through this a little bit and take it down here to the ground. I wanted to be able to show you this one versus what I request from the personal aircraft menu in the interaction menu. This is new for this release. You're supposed to be able to get what's in your hangar. Now generally when you request these, they show up really far away. I got lucky and it was right around the corner, but I'm still going to skip running over there and bringing it back just so you can see these two side by side. Now I'm supposed to get my painted personal buzzard from the hangar, and I didn't get it again. This time, I have no idea why. Somehow I got a CEO buzzard with the tinted windows and the matte paint. And this is the Pegasus one that I got when I left my office. So yet again, it's still not giving you what you expect to get. Now here, to give a little credit, earlier I was showing you in the video where it seemed to have completely misplaced my red Super Volito. After moving a few aircraft around, it just happened to come back. There it is. So there's the one that I called from Pegasus and brought it in and painted it white with blue trim. And I wanted to make sure that if I got rid of this second one that I really didn't want, would my red one stay? So to their credit, this
Okay,
did work.
time to get to
I
work.
came in here
What
and
we
I
doing
removed
today?
it. And when I got done, my red one is still there. Thank goodness. So I wanted to test again the interaction menu option to request your personal aircraft vehicle. This next one here, the right next to me was that CEO buzzard where I had requested a personal aircraft, and for some weird reason I got this CEO buzzard. I flew it up here to my hangar, and now I'm going to go through this personal aircraft menu and order my buzzard and see what happens. Now again, as I said earlier, usually when you do that, it spawns really far away, far enough that you can't run to it, you need to drive to it. Well, boom, they put this one right behind me. It's the one with the white icon. And look at that, I finally got the red one, my painted one from my hangar. And it said my personal aircraft, you might have seen that little pop-up, said it was here. But now that it is here, you see I can't request a car. And I can't request any other aircraft because I already have one that's active. So that's my 12th disappointment. That, as we mentioned earlier, it does act like, just like the cars do when you pull them out of the garage, but you can't get another personal vehicle car or another personal vehicle from your aircraft hangar. And then finally, this is just to demonstrate further what I discussed in the last one. I have taken this CEO buzzard that it gave me earlier by mistake. I have flown it very far away from the hangar. I can request a car here, but I still can't request an aircraft because one is active. And if I go look at it on the map, there it is. I left it up there in Zancudo. So if you fly away from it, you can't request to bring it to you wherever you are because it's already active on the map. And now I'm going to request my car and demonstrate that it will disappear. The red buzzard that I had at Fort Zancudo is now gone on the map. See, my car's right next to me, and now that personal buzzard is gone. So all of this is just to point out, if you haven't bought a hangar yet and you're not sure if you're going to do the missions, which I have heard are tremendously hard, I haven't tried them myself. If you just want the hangar to manage aircraft, you might want to rethink it. This is pretty inconsistent. Thanks for watching. Best of luck to you.